Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Democracy Report. Today is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Pete Hegseth, man, you got to go. This is crazy. All right. Before we get started, please like and subscribe, and you can check out the ticker at the bottom if you'd like to get onto our channel to chat. If you want to go to buymeacoffee.com/ the Daily Democracy Report. You can definitely donate there, which would be greatly appreciated. And you can scan the QR code at the bottom left corner of your screen if you'd like to get there quicker. So here we go today. So Pete Hegseth, once again, seems like, and we talked about it a bit yesterday. I was thinking within 24 hours after all this stuff broke that Pete Hegseth would be gone as Secretary of Defense. That hasn't happened. As you all may or may not know, there was another Signal chat where Pete Hegseth was on there with his personal attorney, with his brother, with his wife, and on his personal phone, no less, and discussed war plans, times and dates of bombings, things like that. This was the same day that the other Signal chat was there, when they accidentally, all these geniuses in the room, accidentally invited a member of the press, Jeff Goldberg, who went ahead and put that on The Atlantic. He's the editor-in-chief, I believe, of The Atlantic. And yeah, so this happened again. And of course, this all seems well and good with the Trump White House. Everybody doesn't have an issue with it, apparently. This is just normal day-to-day stuff or something. And this is probably a fake news thing. So let's get President Trump's reaction, because I'm pretty sure he'd be really pissed about this. So let's take a listen.
Are you bringing up Signal again? I thought they gave that up 2 weeks ago.
There was a new report this weekend that he used it in a separate chat that included some family members.
It's all just the same old stuff from the media.
All right, same old stuff with the media. This is nothing to see here. This is nothing. Hey, it's classified information. We're just talking about it on a personal phone on this Signal app. It's highly classified. Nobody can get to it, although our adversaries, China, Russia, North Korea, they're probably already monitoring all this stuff anyway, right? So that's Trump's big take on it, right? So let's get some other informative stuff here. Let's see what Pete has to say here. I'm sure he's got something good to say. And I think we heard this a little bit yesterday, but here, he must be saying, oh man, I made a huge friggin' mistake, right?
This is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not gonna work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter.
All right, old news, disgruntled employees. He did fire a couple top-level people, some of which were, I believe, he appointed, which were friends of his, or at least, were on good speaking terms or something. So now these are former disgruntled employees who are just rolling them over the coals because it's just, this can't happen. This is, I didn't do anything wrong. This is crazy town when people don't support me like that. But, I'm sure there's people out there who are going to say, hey, there's nothing wrong here. It's all good. So this is Scott Jennings, a CNN guy who I've talked about before. I think's an evil asshole who can't tell the truth, even if he tried really, 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 really hard. The guy's just a doorstop, in my opinion. All right, here we go. He's got to have some good opinion on this, right? Like, oh my God, Pete Hegseth screwed up again. This is terrible. Let's hear from him.
Well, a couple things. One, on the Signal issues, I think the White House initially, when the story first came out a few weeks ago, acknowledged it was a mistake to use Signal. So that's number one. Number two,
okay,
based on the people I've spoken to in the White House today, there is no way they are going to throw Hegseth overboard over this. They will double down on this. They will dig in. That's not the way things work in Trump world. I spoke to someone who'd spoken to the president today, and what you saw publicly is what you're also hearing privately, that he is not interested in giving the media or the Democrats a win here over this signal gate issue. So my expectation is they're going to stick with Hegseth, at least for now, and double down on the fight over these signal issues, which they consider to be over with and not that big of a deal.
Okay. So
All right. So over with, not that big of a deal. It's they don't want to give the Democrats a win here. So let's just advertise all of our war plans and stuff by mistake. Let's not say, oh my gosh, we got to make some changes here. This is incompetence. So we can't continue to do this. No. Let's double down and say there's nothing wrong here. This was normal day-to-day business, only because we don't want to give the Democrats a win. Sounds really legit, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound? That's Trump land. That's Trump world. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong. Unreal. But some of the, Republican people, people that are Republicans that actually hold a public office, maybe they're starting to turn on Mr. Hegseth here. Maybe they're determining that maybe this guy shouldn't be in this position. So we're going to hear from Nebraska Representative, or Republican Congressman, I'm sorry, Don Bacon. So let's hear from him. This was same clip of NBC News here. They were just showing Hegseth, but let's hear from Republican Congressman Don Bacon here.
Overnight, a prominent Republican lawmaker joining calls from top Democrats for Hegseth's resignation.
Ooh.
Nebraska Congressman Don Bacon telling Politico, quote, "I find it unacceptable and I wouldn't tolerate it if I was in charge." Adding, foreign powers like Russia and China are likely to be monitoring the Secretary of Defense's phone.
Do you
and,
think?
quote, he's acting like he's above the law, and that shows an amateur person. NBC.
An amateur person. Yeah. That sounds like an amateur person to me, too. That doesn't sound good. And hopefully other Republicans are going to step up a little bit and pull their head out of the sand or out of Trump's ass and start, speaking truth to power here and saying, hey, this guy needs to freaking go. He is a disaster. Actually, most of the people in the cabinet are disasters, but, let's start with Pete here since he's in the limelight, and we're just going to talk about him today on the show. This is incompetence at its finest, and trying to back this guy up just doesn't seem too legit here. So the third clip I'm going to play here for you guys, multiple clips here. It's actually the fifth clip I believe I'm playing for today. But this is Jonathan V. Last from the Bulwark, and he's going to give his take on this as well. So let's let him talk for a little bit.
We think there's going to be more scandal, more bad.
So more scandals may be coming out here, but just remember the way this is being framed so far is these are disgruntled employees that are just going to make shit up because they don't like Pete Hegseth anymore because, he fired him. That's always the case here. Or it's the fake media, because what's the Trump administration really digging in on and trying to get over to the American people? Do not trust the press. Authoritarianism at its best, but let's continue.
Stuff about Hegseth's management coming out in the coming days, probably by the end of this week. And if there's even more there, it's stunning. And this says a lot because, our bar is pretty low. Like, we've all been stuck in this movie for 5,000 years at this point. And it is at once like the least surprising thing in the universe, right? The weekend TV host turns out to be fully unqualified to be Secretary of Defense. Who could possibly have guessed, right? But on the other hand, some of the stuff is so crazy. Doing signal chats with his wife and sharing war plans on his personal cell phone. It is like, this guy's dumber than a bag of hammers.
And so it's only been 92 days. All right, I want to move on, though. I want to talk about
All right. So, yes, guy is dumber than a box of rocks. He needs to go back to Fox News. Do what you did well for the Fox News people, and you could do your morning or weekend show or whatever the hell you did over there. I don't even know. But apparently people liked you there. Trump liked you because you always spoke highly of him. And probably one of his good friends at Mar-a-Lago on the weekends to, whatever you do at Mar-a-Lago. Probably what goes on at Mar-a-Lago stays at Mar-a-Lago, whatever. But yeah, it's just, it's ridiculous. And apparently he has his wife in on meetings at the Pentagon where she has no business being, no need to know, in classified meetings and things. It just that kind of thing just shouldn't ever happen. But I want to take a moment and bring us all back to where this began with Pete Hegseth. And this is kind of the greatest hits. I found this video. I'm going to play through the whole thing. I might interrupt it here or there. It's from the Associated Press. This is kind of the confirmation hearing greatest hits with Pete Hegseth. So let's start this off. This is a good one. I like it.
Mr. Hegseth, I do not believe that you are qualified to meet the overwhelming demands of this job.
Department of Defense under Donald Trump will achieve peace through strength. And in pursuing these America First national security goals will remain patriotically apolitical and stridently constitutional.
Pete.
You said in your statement, you don't want politics in the DOD. Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal.
I have never disparaged women serving in the military. I respect every single female service member that has put on the uniform, past and present. My critiques, Senator, recently and in the past, and from personal experience, have been instances where I've seen standards lowered.
Would you use our military to take over Greenland or an ally of Denmark?
Senator, one of the things that President Trump is so good at is never strategically tipping his hand. And so
yeah, I'm not good at it. Of course we're not good at it. Well, I might do it. I don't know. It depends on what Uncle Donnie tells me to do or what King Donald tells me to do. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Which I guess is what you're supposed to do as Secretary of Defense. But you're also supposed to answer to other people as well.
I would never in this public forum give one way or another direct what orders the president would give me in any context.
That sounds to me that you would contemplate carrying out such an order to basically invade Greenland.
Many of your work colleagues have said that you show up for work under the influence of alcohol or drunk. I know you've denied that, but you would agree with me, right, that if that was the case, that would be disqualifying for somebody to be Secretary of Defense.
Senator, those are all anonymous false claims, and the
anonymous false claims. Nah.
They're not anonymous.
The letters on the record here.
They're not anonymous.
On the record, people
we've seen records with names attached to them.
Senator Kaine, or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night?
Okay. So I wanted to take this one on here a little bit here because this is so different from running the most powerful military in the world. Okay, this is completely different, right? Showing up to vote in Congress at night, and maybe people have had a drink or two while they're sitting at home or something, right? Maybe they're worse than that, and maybe those people shouldn't be allowed to vote because they're too fucked up to be able to vote. Okay, that's fine. I don't think, like, oh, well, how many times have you guys showed up drunk to work? Okay. You shouldn't be showing up drunk to work if you're in charge of the nation's the world's most powerful military and can just unleash that force. It's too much responsibility. And there is a difference there. But like he's saying, if somebody does show up to work and they're drunk, they should be sent home like anybody else.
Have any of you guys asked
But they
them
get a
to
good
step
chuckle
down
out
and
of
resign
it.
from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have.
I don't want a long answer. Yes or no? Have you led an audit of any organization of which you were in charge?
Senator, in both of the organizations I ran, we were always completely
Which
fiscally
both went
responsible
Yes
for
or
the
no?
money
Did
that
you
we
lead
had.
an audit?
And the way
yes
my
or
leadership
no?
has
Did you lead
been
an audit?
stated
Yes or
has
no?
been completely
What are you afraid of? You
mischaracterized.
can't answer this question. Yes or no? Did you lead an audit? Do you not know this answer?
Senator, every
Yes or
part
no?
of my leadership
Yes
of these
or no?
organizations,
Yes
has,
or-
I'm not a perfect person, but redemption is real. And God forged me in ways that I know I'm prepared for. And I'm honored by the people standing and sitting behind me, and look forward to leading this Pentagon on behalf of the warfighter.
All right. Yeah. So God says I'm able to do it. So, hey, we're good, right? We're all good. Yeah. Way to go, Pete. Yeah, totally unqualified. Should not even be anywhere close to the Pentagon, in my opinion. Needs to go back to Fox News and pretend like, you know, he's a reporter or a journalist, or actually somebody who, you know, is, at least he might be able to be entertaining to that audience. Whatever. But he shouldn't be anywhere close to the Pentagon or to have the power that he has as Secretary of Defense. With that, I am going to wrap it up. A little shorter show today, but I really wanted to focus on Pete today because I think it's important to talk about. So thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoy the show and the content that I am presenting every day. We will be back again tomorrow at noon Eastern time for another show. So please come on in and say hello. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Thank you. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.